Before the silver threads crown your temples, seek out the silent gatherings where echoes of lives once lived still hum. There, the grand trophies of ambition gather dust. Instead, the tender whispers recall the spirit you carried, the heart you shared amidst the climb. Gold can forge chains of false loyalty, never the unbreakable bonds of kinship. It can purchase fleeting shadows of desire, but never the sun-drenched warmth of true affection. Let your presence be felt through the quiet thunder of your actions, not the hollow drum of pronouncements. Gather the scattered fragments of your being, for the river of self-transformation flows swifter in youth. With each passing season, its currents deepen, its banks harden. Release the anchors of ill-suited souls, lest the true constellations of connection remain forever veiled. Even the most fervent toil does not always guarantee the harvest. Discern the moment to halt, to feel the chains of unseen servitude before they bind you completely. Treat your material foundation with reverence, for prosperity is a shield against life's fiercest storms. Understand the boundless value of your own spirit. Never consign yourself to the dusty shelves of discount, for others will price you by your own estimation. Observe with keen eyes those who profess devotion, for often their affection is but a cloak for their own consumption. Place your faith in the quiet wisdom of your inner compass, in the first flicker of intuition. Nurture the vessel that carries your essence, for robust vitality is a treasure beyond measure. Shun those who weave threads of solitude around your heart. The silence of self is a sanctuary, far grander than the clamor of toxic companionship. It is a nobler fate to be a pariah for your truth than a darling for a masquerade. Guard your coffers, for the siren song of fleeting indulgence can lead to the desolate shores of death. Remember the silent vow you made to your sleeping self, and let it guide your waking steps. Do not become a mere echo of others' desires. Consult the quiet chambers of your own being before you pledge your precious moments. In the twilight of existence, we shall lament not the battles lost, but the journeys untaken, the affections unexpressed, and the pivotal choices that withered in the garden of hesitation. Never take for granted the fleeting dance with those who walk beside you. Their presence is a fragile bloom, capable of vanishing with the morning dew. Do not cling to a crumbling edifice simply because you poured your soul into its construction. Your first 2 decades are spent wrestling with the phantom gaze of others. The next 2 in a defiant roar against its power. Only then, in the quiet wisdom of later years, do you awaken to the liberating truth. They were never truly watching. Time, the gentle physician, mends nearly every wound. Grant it the grace of patience. Do not imprison today's laughter for the sake of a promised tomorrow, for the dawn of a new day is whispered to no one. Life, the relentless current, will inevitably sweep you from the shores of cherished friendships. Thus, savor each shared breath. Make peace with the specters of your past, lest they haunt the vibrant tapestry of your present. Seek the company of the aged. Their weathered hands hold the priceless scrolls of lived experience. If you do not master the sprawling landscape of your own thoughts, another will claim its dominion. Let the sting of past wounds fade from memory, but engrave the lessons they imparted upon your soul. The family you forge, brick by heartfelt brick, holds greater weight than the lineage from which you sprang. The relentless march of time unveils the true measure of another's regard. Cease broadcasting your deepest narratives. Most are indifferent, and some secretly yearn for your stumble. Your companions may wish you well, but rarely do they desire your ascent beyond their own. Chart your own course, unswayed by the currents of societal expectation, familial obligation, or peer pressure. Let the hearth remain untended, the wild garden untamed for a fleeting weekend. You will recall the joyous symphony of shared moments, not the sterile gleam of perfection. Carve out sanctuaries for unbridled delight. Cultivate the art of self-containment and steer clear of the infectious folly of the witless. Sometimes the universe demands the release of a good thing to clear the path for something truly magnificent. You will gaze upon the mosaic of your life and find deeper sorrow in the roads untraveled than in the paths you dared to tread. Time, the most coveted of treasures, is also the most squandered. A day will dawn when the burdens that now crush you will provoke only a gentle chuckle. Be mindful of the silent dialogue within, for your own spirit is ever listening. Sometimes the universe's refusal is its most profound blessing. Extend grace to the ghost of your former self. You are a creature of constant becoming. Never internalize the barbs of others. Their words and deeds are but reflections cast from the fractured mirrors of their own reality. Humanity may forget your pronouncements and even your grandest gestures, but the indelible imprint of how you made them feel will echo through eternity. You cannot embark upon the next luminous chapter of your saga while perpetually rereading the faded pages of the last. The truest wealth is not minted coin, but the fleeting sands of time. Spend it with the wisdom of a sage. A single stitch in time can avert 1,000 unravelings. Though the past is an unchangeable scroll, your future is a blank canvas, shaped by the hues of lessons learned. When you cease the frantic chase of misaligned desires, the true alignments will find their way to your door. Linger in the embrace of life's simplest harmonies. It is in these quiet moments that the deepest joys often reside. The most profound liberation I discovered was silencing the chronicle of my own existence. Anchor your being in self-reliance, never in the shifting sands of another's support. Bestow your most precious moments upon those who cultivate the deepest peace within your soul. Sometimes the very forces that shatter your heart become the artisans of your clearest vision. The judgments of others are but fleeting whispers in the wind, none of your concern. If you are a wellspring of generosity, learn the boundaries of your flow, for the takers know no limits. Direct your gaze inward. Souls arrive and depart like tides. If you do not voice your longing, the universe remains deaf to your plea. Never unveil your blueprints to every ear. Some are indifferent, others secretly plot your downfall. Keep your masterpiece veiled until its final stroke. Temper your expectations, for soaring hopes, both for yourself and for others, are a recipe for chronic discontent. Depart not to instruct a lesson, but because you have absorbed your own. Forge alliances with those whose minds ignite yours, not merely those who offer comfort. Your chosen companions will sculpt the very contours of your destiny. No chasm is as deep, no peak as high as the mind perceives. Safeguard the temple of your flesh. Without its vitality, all other pursuits are but dust. No mountain of gold can purchase joy if your spirit is in agony. Cease the relentless pursuit of fleeting affections. Instead, cultivate your inner garden of growth, values, and compassion. The kindred spirit will find its way to you, not through your chase, but through the magnetic pull of your authentic self. What seems insurmountable is merely uncharted territory. Extend kindness, but do not allow it to become a bridge for exploitation. A lost fortune can be reclaimed, a squandered moment, never. Live with eyes wide open, ears attuned, and a heart receptive to the symphony of existence. The grim truth, time, a swift arrow. The glorious truth, you, the archer. The future, a landscape where regrets bloom for every seed of action left unsown today. You traverse this earthly stage but once. There is no curtain call for an encore. The days stretch long, yet the years, they vanish in a breath. Sometimes the true worth of a moment remains veiled until it becomes a shimmering memory. The gravest peril lies not in the leap, but in remaining rooted. The first tremor of true progress is the defiant declaration, I refuse to stand still. Your aspirations and dreams are orphans until you claim them. Only your hands possess the power to breathe them into being. Embrace the solitary path, for the ascent to personal peaks is often a journey walked alone. You are a miracle, a triumph against impossible odds. For this, let gratitude be your constant companion, even for life's smallest graces. Do not cast your burdens before every passerby. Most are indifferent, and a fraction secretly revel in your plight. Seek not the flicker of goodness in every soul, but rather seek out souls that are inherently good. You must walk your own truth, for no other foot can fill your unique imprint. The deeper your well of gratitude, the more abundantly life will flow into it. A single storm cloud does not signify a ruined sky. Every second spent measuring your journey against another's is a second stolen from your own unfolding. You may flatten yourself for others to walk upon, and still they will murmur that you are not level enough. When contemplating the intricate tapestry of existence, remember this: no torrent of guilt can alter the past, and no tempest of anxiety can reshape the future. Every soul that enters your orbit is a messenger. Some bear tidings of love and solace, others stark warnings of paths to avoid. A person's true colors unfurl when their personal gain from your presence begins to wane. Do not bind yourself to a union merely out of obligation. You possess more time than you perceive. Whisper words of affection often to those you hold dear. If you have never questioned the wisdom of your choices, you have not dared to venture far enough. Not every proclaimed ally is a true supporter. Observe their deeds, not their declarations. You cannot pour enough love into a vessel to compel it to love you in return. Wield your words with the precision of a surgeon's blade. Once unleashed, they can only be forgiven, never truly erased. Do not let the architect of your pain convince you that the flaw lies within your own design. Never diminish your inherent value simply because another failed to recognize it. Know your worth, even if their sight is clouded. If you barter your deepest desires for the fleeting comforts of the present, your future will be a barren landscape of disappointment. A solitary existence imbued with inner serenity far surpasses a union that casts a shadow of misery upon your days. Sometimes the only answer is a firm no, and the accompanying pang of guilt is merely a phantom. Often the righteous path and the most arduous one are intertwined. The seeds you sow today will blossom into the landscape of all your tomorrows. Life, a relentless teacher, will repeat its lessons until the truth finally takes root. You are not condemned for your fury, you are condemned by it. The righteousness of your stance is often irrelevant. The company you keep will subtly yet profoundly reshape the very architecture of your life. In the labyrinth of choice, when no clear path emerges, first choose, then dedicate your will to making that choice the right one. The gravest error one can commit is to live in perpetual dread of making one. Cultivate a profound contentment within your own solitude. If your happiness hinges on constant companionship, you become a fragile reed. You are not bound by the expectations others lay upon you. Not every nascent thought demands articulation. There are truths we recoil from, yet must embrace, lessons we resist, yet must learn, and souls we cannot fathom living without, yet must release. No matter whose voice attempts to impart life's profound truths, you will never truly grasp them until you traverse the terrain yourself. You possess the power to begin anew at any given breath, to step into the skin of the person you aspire to be, today, right now. Those who demand the most from you are often those who offer the least. Never compromise the three pillars of your being, your lineage, your tender heart, or your sacred honor. Always fix your gaze upon the horizon you seek, not the path you have already trod. Sometimes it is not the individual who transforms, but the mask that finally slips away. Extend courtesy even to those who seem undeserving. It is a testament not to their character, but to the nobility of your own. When no solution appears for a perceived dilemma, it is likely not a problem to be solved, but a truth to be embraced. Nothing truly departs until it has delivered its intended lesson. Do not forge eternal decrees upon the shifting sands of transient emotions. Sometimes the kindest cut is the deepest, for some souls are simply not worth the arduous effort of understanding. To truly fathom a spirit, observe not their grand actions, but their raw, unscripted reactions. For these are far harder to feign. The manner in which others treat you is a mirror reflecting their own inner landscape, not yours. Mistakes are but the fingerprints of courage. Love alone is an insufficient architect for a joyful, enduring bond. Open, fearless communication is the very bedrock. Every experience in this journey is a tutor, if only you possess the willingness to learn. The true measure of a soul lies in its steadfastness amidst the storms of adversity. If you elevate another to a pedestal, they will inevitably gaze down upon you. Each wound becomes a forge, tempering your strength. Each betrayal, a lesson in discernment, every disappointment, a sharpening of skill, and each experience, a deepening of wisdom. When two souls intertwine in union, every facet of their bond, both luminous and shadowed, intensifies. You are the silent architect of how others perceive and treat you. Life's currents rarely shift for the better unless you seize the helm and steer them. Hardships are often blessings veiled in shadow. Release your grip and allow life's crucible to refine you. No matter the ache, lift your gaze and press onward. Sometimes the universe's refusal is its most profound blessing. The more you cultivate affection for your own being, the less you will crave the validation of others. And just because you are a vault for another's secrets, do not assume they hold yours with equal sanctity. More often than not, a profound inner metamorphosis is required, far more than a mere change of scenery. It is possible to walk without fault and still stumble. This is not a weakness, but the very fabric of existence. Inner tranquility, dawns the moment you reclaim sovereignty over your emotional landscape, refusing to yield its reins to any person or event. He who ignites your fury becomes your conqueror. There can be no ascent, no grand achievement, without the sacrificial offering, and a man's worldly triumph will be measured by the depths of his relinquishment. We advance through life by shedding the heavy cloak of fear. A soul driven by desire will carve a path. One devoid of it will conjure an excuse. Some souls will remain impervious to your earnest attempts to win their favor. You must, at times, embrace the precipice of risk. Though it may stir trepidation and lead you beyond the familiar, you will never know what wonders lay beyond unless you dare to leap. Counsel from others is merely a reflection of their own limited vista. The true peril lies not in aiming for the unreachable stars and falling short, but in tethering your aspirations to the dust and achieving nothing more. Become a living mirror of the virtues you seek to draw into your orbit. If love is your yearning, then pour forth love. If truth is your quest, embody truth. If respect is your desire, then offer respect. For what you cast into the universe will inevitably return to your shores. Never let the venom of hatred, the sting of jealousy, the fire of anger, or the chill of insecurity taint the words that escape your lips. Weigh them with utmost care. This vessel of flesh is your sole companion through this earthly pilgrimage. Cherish it. Though it possesses an astonishing resilience, it will only yield what you invest. If a voice insists upon its veracity with undue emphasis, rest assured, a falsehood is often lurking beneath. Do not build the edifice of your self-worth upon the shifting sands of others' opinions. If the tapestry of your life displeases you, you must reweave it. It will not mend itself. When penning the grand narrative of your existence, never surrender the quill to another's hand. Do nothing that will later demand the fabrication of a lie. Diminishing another's light will never amplify your own. Prioritizing your own well-being is not a selfish act. Light, it is said, outpaces sound. Hence, some appear radiant until their words break the silence. Sometimes the soul simply yearns to surrender, to trust in the unseen currents that guide all things. Release your grip and let life unfold. Existence itself is a tapestry woven with threads of peril. The only true danger to avert is the risk of inaction. You are the sole companion to your own spirit for every waking moment. Therefore, cultivate a profound affection for the being you are. Overthinking, a relentless tide, drowns the soul. It distorts reality, conjures phantom anxieties, and magnifies every triviality into a monstrous shadow. Let the whispers behind your back fade into the wind. They are but echoes of souls consumed by the flaws in their own reflections. Sometimes the sharpest pains become the most profound instructors, revealing truths we never knew we needed. Find your own sun and bask in its light. Do not seek another's gaze to validate your existence. Walk as if you have already arrived. Embrace change as a fundamental law, but never let it become your tyrant. Just because a different path existed does not mean it would have led to a brighter destination. Life does not soften its blows. We, the resilient ones, grow stronger, more unyielding. It is not the missteps that define the dancer, but the grace with which they rise again. Human hearts will inevitably falter. Therefore, never entrust your entire being to another. Diligence does not guarantee triumph, but idleness is a sworn oath to failure. True joy remains elusive to those who constantly seek validation from external mirrors. Anything you release your grip upon ceases to exert control over you. The pursuit of flawlessness is a mirage. Strive instead for the relentless march of progress. Your inherent worth is a sacred, non-negotiable truth. Never accept anything or anyone that diminishes its brilliance. Be vigilant about what you permit, for you are subtly instructing others on how to treat you. You will never possess absolute certainty in any decision, yet always choose. For it is better to mend a path than to remain forever at the crossroads. Learn the liberating power of no, unburdened by guilt. It is a shield for your precious time and purpose. The frantic chase for happiness leads only to a desolate landscape. For happiness is not a destination, but the very journey itself. Perhaps your healing is stalled because you cling to the ghost of who you once were. That soul no longer exists. A new one yearns for breath. Give life to that emerging self. There will always be eyes that fail to perceive your worth. Do not let them be your own. You glean no wisdom from existence if you believe your compass is perpetually true. No one owes you anything. The fruits of life are earned through your own striving. There are truths we resist, yet must embrace. Lessons we recoil from, yet must learn. And souls we cannot fathom living without, yet must release. What you truly desire demands the unwavering hand of consistency and the iron will of discipline. The tapestry of your entire existence can unravel in a single heartbeat. Therefore, instead of passively accepting its threads, embrace each moment with gratitude and weave whatever good you can. The most treacherous adversaries are those who wear the guise of friendship. The actions of men are the truest interpreters of their hidden thoughts. Never gauge your potential by the shadows of your lowest moments. Postpone nothing until tomorrow that you would regret leaving undone on your final day. The steeper your ascent, the swifter you shall reach your summit. Excuses are but flimsy veils. Embrace responsibility for your deeds. Accept your stumbles, and from their dust extract wisdom, rather than dwelling in their shadow. Cultivate alliances with those who expand the very boundaries of your intellect, not merely those who swell your circle. Avoid forging decrees in the crucible of rage, and never pledge promises in the intoxicating haze of euphoria. You will never comprehend the depth of your transgression until the same wound is inflicted upon your own spirit. Be discerning with whom you invite into the inner sanctum of your life. Some will drain your very essence, then depart, casting blame upon your weary shoulders. Maturity is the quiet strength to possess the power of destruction, yet choose instead to breathe, to walk away, and to entrust their fate to the cosmic scales of justice. You are the sole sovereign of your own reactions. Be humble enough to acknowledge the potential for utter loss, yet confident enough to know you can reclaim it all. Remember that every single attempt is a brick laid on the path of progress. Devote yourself so entirely to self-refinement that no moment remains for the futile act of criticism. The wise cease the endless loop of overthinking once they grasp that the most profound decisions are born more from intuitive knowing than from cold intellect. It all begins and ends within the boundless landscape of your mind. What you empower gains dominion over you. Master your inner realm. Excuses, like shadows, are ever present and easily conjured, forging a path forward that is the true act of courage. Be astute enough to realize that life's relentless current will not pause for your comfort. Never permit another to treat you with disrespect simply because your heart holds affection for them. With every falsehood you utter, you sow the seeds of future discord. Act with integrity now. One who truly believes in their own truth has no need to sway the beliefs of others. Learn to cherish the memory of a soul without yearning for their return. If life were a placid pond, you would never grow. Sometimes you must simply accept that certain souls are destined to reside only in the sacred chambers of your heart, never in the tangible realm of your life. The only true path to self-worth is to engage in deeds worthy of genuine pride. Sacrificing the boundless ocean of long-term joy for the fleeting droplet of immediate pleasure is the surest recipe for regret. Do not shrink from erecting boundaries in your relationships. If they retreat, it is a testament to your liberation. Life's labyrinth becomes simpler when you learn to embrace the apology that was never offered. The first stride toward any destination is the unwavering decision to depart from your current standing. Slow-burning success builds character, while rapid ascent often inflates the ego. If you do not sever the ties to your distractions, they will inevitably sever you from your aspirations. To walk the path of the many is to guarantee the mediocre. Do not dissolve your essence by tolerating the intolerable from those you wish to keep. Direct your gaze and energy toward sculpting the life you envision rather than merely escaping the one you inhabit. When your intentions are pure, it is never you who loses another. Rather, they lose the privilege of your presence. When you truly know the landscape of your own soul, the phantom fear of missing out on what was never meant for you simply dissolves. The swiftest way to erode your self-confidence is to perpetually break the silent promises you make to yourself. Cease betraying your future with the ghosts of your past. You expand only as much as the unvarnished truth you are willing to embrace about yourself, without fleeing its gaze. Every stumble is but a temporary pause, so long as you persist. When you cast blame upon another for your trials, you hand them the reins of your power, allowing them to dictate the very rhythm of your happiness and well-being. Blind trust is a treacherous current, often leading to shipwreck. The only soul who truly needs to comprehend your journey is your own. Life's tapestry becomes richer once you shed the illusion of infinite tomorrows. Be the architect of your days. Let each one be a forward stride. The first to offer solace is the bravest, the first to forgive, the strongest, the first to forget, the happiest. No singular remedy will mend all your wounds, no grand ambition, no crowning achievement, no perfect union, no other soul will ever complete you. Extend courtesy even to those who seem undeserving. It is a testament not to their character, but to the nobility of your own. Whatever path you choose, victory is not the sole measure. You are always triumphant if you are satisfied that you poured forth your utmost effort. You are the sole architect of your own benchmarks. Discover your why. It is the bedrock of your aspirations, breathing meaning into every action, the deep personal current that propels your ambitions. Embracing full responsibility for your burdens alleviates more suffering than it creates. Be the authentic echo of your inner truth and voice its melody. For those who truly resonate will not mind, and those who mind do not truly matter. When your lips move, you merely reiterate what you already possess. But when you truly listen, the universe may whisper a new truth. Never intertwine your destiny with a soul you would not also call a friend. The more bitter lessons you can absorb through the narratives of others rather than the crucible of your own experience, the wiser you become. Healing also demands an unflinching gaze at the role you play in your own suffering. Challenge your own limits. It is the sole path to expansion. Ignoring the subtle crimson flags, swayed by a desire to see only the good, will exact a heavy toll later. Peace is not found in a realm devoid of clamor, struggle, or toil. It is the serene stillness within your heart amidst the very tempest. Shun those who wield their own pain as a weapon to wound you. Do not reveal too much of your inner landscape. Most are indifferent, and some secretly yearn for your downfall. When you react, you surrender your power. Perfectionism is a gilded cage, procrastination a silent thief. Action is the liberating cure. Seek out the spaces where your essence is celebrated, not merely tolerated. Mend the temple of your body before you attempt to mend anything else. For a weakened vessel reflects a fractured spirit, a testament to a faltering will, a lack of discipline, and the bitter fruits of poor choices. Some severances are divine interventions. True triumph springs not from seeking external validation, but from seizing opportunities, proving your mettle, and conquering your goals despite the odds. When you encounter a mind more brilliant than your own, collaborate. Do not shrink in intimidation. Never expect the universe to return precisely what you offer. Not every heart possesses the same capacity for generosity. Your inner landscape dictates the very texture of your lived experience. Prioritize your mental sanctuary with the same fervor you guard your physical health. Exercise your mind with novel challenges and the gentle balm of positive self-talk. Life's complexities often stem from our inability to cherish the gifts that arrive with ease. Do not let the chill of loneliness propel you into fleeting decisions with lasting consequences. Once your compass points true, the constant sting of offense and anger begins to fade, for you possess far grander pursuits for your precious time. Your growth is measured by your willingness to remain a perpetual student, even when the lessons are mundane. Keep the sanctuary of your personal life veiled. Not every truth needs an audience. This silent self-care is a pinnacle of wisdom. Seek a bond where your authentic self, unburdened by pretense, brings joy to another. One of the most perilous traps is comparing your unique journey to another's. It is not a race, but your own sacred path. Do not yield after the first stumble. Failure is not the destination, but merely a detour on the road to triumph. Just because the purpose behind a challenging chapter remains hidden does not mean it is absent. When you truly believe, your mind becomes an architect, finding pathways where none seem to exist. Embrace the long game. Patience is the ultimate advantage in the grand chess match of life. Your future beckons, while your past holds no claim. To be true to your essence may sometimes lead to solitude, yet its reward is beyond measure. Expect the inevitable pull of jealousy. It is a common shadow cast upon those who shine. Change, a fearful prospect, is even more terrifying when it refuses to arrive. The stark truth: every soul will wound you. Your task is to discover which wounds are worth enduring. On a day devoid of challenges, rest assured you have strayed from the path of growth. The magic you seek lies hidden within the very work you avoid. You must discipline your inner realm with meticulous care. Honor the promises you make to yourself and reward your efforts so that trust and motivation may flourish. Our lives are defined by the opportunities that present themselves, even those we allow to slip through our grasp. When you build in the quiet chambers of your soul, no adversary knows where to strike. Pain only releases its grip once its lesson has been fully imparted. Some truths demand to be learned twice. To remain calm, collected, and composed amidst the storm is a profound mastery. It does not mean suppressing your emotions, but rather preventing them from seizing the helm. The more you cling to the fading echoes of yesterday, the less radiant your tomorrow will be. The only true failure is the refusal to try. The only rejection, the silence of unasked questions. The only mistake, the avoidance of all risk. If your lips cannot utter no, then your yes holds no true weight. Others may desire your success, but rarely beyond their own. Cease overestimating the prowess of others and underestimating the vast potential within yourself. You empower the very entity you blame for your misfortunes. Life, in its mysterious wisdom, often finds a way, even when the path seems utterly impassable. You should never relinquish the boundless potential of who you could become for the limited reality of who you currently are. You owe no one proof of your worth, not even yourself. Fortune favors the diligent. Good things do not simply arrive for those who passively await. Do not make a single soul the epicenter of your joy, for when that light departs, you are left in utter darkness. When the urge to surrender whispers, recall the unwavering spirit that held you fast for so long. Never place the fragile threads of relationships before the sturdy pillars of your aspirations. You risk losing both. Love, a boundless ocean, can be found more than once. When a cherished soul departs, often it is a hidden blessing. You must make the stark, practical choices about the life you desire and the sacrifices you're willing to make, for if you do not, life itself will make them for you. Transformation ignites when you dare to defy the familiar currents of habit. Failure, a stern guide, illuminates the path forward by revealing what is not the way. It is a peculiar truth that a pang of sorrow can follow the most righteous decision. No matter your grace or kindness, some souls will simply choose to dislike you. Squander no precious moments on them. Later, a deceptive whisper often means never. Adversity, a strange boon, awakens you to the hidden treasures you once overlooked. Never seek the hollow comfort of sympathy. Those who genuinely care will stand by you without grand pronouncements. You cannot compel another's affection by showering them with what they already fail to appreciate. Often, you must swallow the bitter draught of pain and, in solitude, forge your own maturity. Gold does not guarantee inner peace, but its absence can certainly summon a legion of trials. Hiding from your shadows will not dissipate them. Confronting them is the sole path to growth. Regrets, like persistent echoes, will linger for a lifetime if you do not learn to forgive yourself and others. Time spent measuring your journey against another's is a precious resource squandered on futility. Humanity will often exploit your kindness if you permit it. Problems, like distant mountains, are rarely as formidable as they appear from afar. Your fervent quest for happiness is the very obstacle to its attainment. Treat your own being with the same care and responsibility you would extend to a beloved friend. In the vibrant tapestry of your 20s, many threads of connection will unravel. Yet each failure serves as a crucible of learning. Therefore, do not succumb to undue stress, for it is all but practice until the true union. Your closest companions and kin do not always possess the clearest vision for your highest good. The gravest transgression is to perceive yourself as weak. Never permit another to treat you with disrespect simply because your heart holds affection for them. The profound wisdom of knowing when to hold your tongue and when to speak your truth is a lesson etched by time. Once mastered, life flows with far greater serenity. You must, at times, embrace the precipice of risk, though it may stir trepidation and lead you beyond the familiar. You will never know what wonders lay beyond unless you dare to leap. The grand secret of existence is that there is no grand secret. Whatever your chosen summit, you shall reach it, if only your will is tethered to diligent effort. If you fail to render yourself indispensable, the winds of change will soon sweep you aside. Never allow yourself to become utterly reliant on another. Cultivate your own financial, mental, and physical sovereignty. A wise soul gleans more profound truths from the whispers of adversaries than a fool from the loudest pronouncements of friends. We retreat from the grand tapestry of our dreams, fearing either the sting of failure or perhaps the blinding brilliance of success. You cannot expect every soul to be a beacon of goodness, and simultaneously you cannot extend your boundless light to every single being. It is in the deepest valleys of your life that the true hues of those who claim to care will finally reveal themselves. If you do not heal the wounds that once bled, you will inevitably bleed upon those who never caused the cut. Never anticipate and never place absolute trust in any single soul. Do not cling to a toxic companionship merely because its roots run deep in time. Our deepest wounds are often the very gateways to the most exquisite and beautiful parts of our being. Typically, souls crave only the sunlit narratives, not the shadowed truths. Thus, finding confidants for your struggles can be an arduous quest. Numbing the ache for a fleeting moment will only amplify its return when it finally demands your full attention. When a pivotal moment arrives, you possess two choices: to define its essence or to let its essence define you. Steer clear of the narcissist. They dance to no known rhythm and will slowly, insidiously, siphon the very breath from your being. You must learn to curate your thoughts with the same discernment you apply to your daily attire. This is a power you can cultivate. If you yearn to control the currents of your life with such intensity, then focus your efforts on the only realm truly within your grasp, your own mind. No matter the good you sow, humanity will often recall only your missteps. In every unfolding circumstance, life poses a question, and your actions are the resounding answer. Your sole purpose is to answer well. Say no to the relentless pursuit of an imagined perfection, for it will stifle your capacity for true growth. The bitter taste of regret, born from prioritizing those who never prioritized you, poisons the wellspring of your life. You must chart your own course through existence, for you cannot reach a destination unless you move purposefully towards it. Random wandering will only lead to disillusionment, frustration, anxiety, and a disharmonious spirit. Dreams unanchored by concrete goals are but wisps of smoke. The instant you feel your grip slipping as if hanging by a single thread, release. You were never meant to cling to something that reduces you to such fragility. The truth is, life's adversities do not wound us as deeply as we anticipate. And conversely, its triumphs do not elevate us as profoundly. We are creatures of remarkable adaptation. Never overlook the chilling gaze of contempt. When another views you as beneath them and speaks to you with disdain, they are poised to inflict harm, be it relational, social, or physical. Sever that tie. Even a life bathed in joy cannot escape the shadows of darkness, for happiness would lose its meaning if not balanced by sorrow. You cannot find solace in another's embrace if you are not at peace within your own. Do not shrink from the vastness of life. Believe in its inherent worth, and that belief will become the very architect of its reality. Harboring grudges will never wound the object of your animosity. It will only corrode your own soul. The only barrier to the realization of a dream is the paralyzing grip of fear. You do not grasp the true value of a moment until it has transformed into a shimmering memory. Emotion, which is suffering, ceases to be suffering the instant we form a clear and precise image of its contours. The actions of souls speak volumes, their words mere echoes. True growth blossoms when you begin to scrutinize and correct your own trajectory rather than casting blame upon others. You reclaim your inherent power by embracing full responsibility for the narrative of your life. If you cannot decipher the motivations behind another's actions, observe the consequences they produce, and from those, infer the hidden springs of their intent. The gravest risk is to take no risks at all. In a world that hurtles forward with dizzying speed, the only strategy guaranteed to fail is the refusal to venture forth. Tomorrow, a perpetual illusion, never truly arrives, for it is always, eternally, today.